is up guys, Stu here. So as well as checking out new stuff that's coming out at the moment in cinemas in 2017, I've also at the moment been going back and checking out a lot of stuff that I've been missing in the past, particularly in 2016, because every year, obviously, there are certain films which slip by because there are so many films that come out. Of course I'm not going to see them all in the year that they release. I'm not fucking Henry Cavill. I know he's not actually Superman, but he might as well be, alright? He might as well be. But yeah, one thing that I've been particularly bad at checking out when it comes out in the year is a lot of foreign releases. Last year with those, particularly the South Korean films that were coming out and getting a lot of critical acclaim, because everyone's like, yes, they're so good, and I missed them when they came out because, to be honest, a lot of my local cinemas don't show that sort of thing, so I've got to do long trips into London to get to go and see those. I do try and make the trip sometimes, but sometimes it's just not possible, okay? I can't teleport. I wish I could. God damn it, I wish I could teleport. So yeah, rambling aside, I missed a lot of South Korean films which people are saying was amazing, so I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go back and watch some of those because South Korean film has been good in the past. So the first of those to tick off my list that I checked out a couple of weeks ago was The Wailing. And my god, this film. Fucking hell, this film. So The Wailing, if you haven't heard about it, is basically a kind of, call it a horror, fantasy, thriller, mystery, crime film. It's got a lot of genres in there. But yeah, it's directed by Hong-Jin Na. I have totally butchered that name just now. I'll see myself out. I'll see myself out. See you later, guys. I actually think that's going to be a recurring thing with the cast of this film. I'm so sorry for everyone involved in this film for how much I'm going to butcher your names. I'm trying, okay? Just know I'm trying. But yeah, it basically tells a story of a policeman who is drawn to a village called Goksung. It's a tiny little village where people are going crazy, getting sick, going like zombie crazy, and then killing their family, and people are like, yo, that's kind of fucking weird. That shouldn't be happening. And so he's basically investigating what's going on there, and he gets sucked into the whole thing for reasons I'm not going to disclose here, and it just gets crazy, and it's insane, and I love it. And it's driven by some really great performances, the main one of those being Do-Won Kwak. I'm butchering it, I know it. But he plays our protagonist, Jong-Goo, and he is really fantastic. There are certain aspects of the performance which do come off sometimes as overacting and very kind of melodramatic, but I actually do think, looking back on it and seeing it again, that it is intentional, those things. And so from that side of things, I think he does do a fantastic job with the performance he's giving in this film. I mean, he just kind of nails every aspect of the character. He's almost kind of Homer Simpson in his kind of bumbling idioticness of his character, which in the first half leads to some quite comedic moments, and I think he does those very well. But in the second half of this film, gets fucked up, and I'm fully on board with this character. As a lead character to be going through with as an audience in a horror film like this, he's the sort of guy you want in a film like this, and he nails it from that side of things. I think he was fantastic. But there are also other fantastic performances in the film as well, from people like Jun Kanemura through to Woo-hee Chun. They're all really great. I can't really fault many of the performances in this film. It is just very, very good in realizing and capturing the terror that's going on from these characters and convincing me that these people are going through shit. Because the story in this film is, like, fucked up in the best way possible. I love the way that it's a constantly evolving story. It is a film which starts off one way and you think it's going to go a certain direction, and it just takes you on so many different twists and turns through so many different kind of genre conventions. You just don't really know where you're going to go with it, and so it means that you are constantly on the edge of your seat, gripped, because you just don't know what's going to happen. And by the time you get to the final climax of the film, obviously not spoiling anything in this review, but my goodness, my brain was fried. I wasn't expecting this film to be so layered and intricate and clever as it was, but my god am I happy it was. And if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know it has actually inspired me to put out a very different video for you guys. I've actually been working on an explanation video for the end of this film because it did blow me away so much in its surprisingly layered and intricate and mind-fucking nature of the end. So I just wanted to put out my interpretation in a cute little video essay. So I've been doing that. So expect that soon. But yeah, back to the point in hand. It's a sort of film which goes so many different places and fucks your mind in so many different ways. I just loved that side of things, and I really didn't expect to see that from a horror film like this. You don't really get that in horror nowadays, which is so refreshing. But also just in terms of the way it looks and is shot and composed as a film, my god, it's a very good looking film. There are certain sequences in this film which are just stunning to look at, particularly the way it captures this small kind of village of Goksung. It's a very gloomy place. They don't seem to get a lot of sunlight. It's not like everyone's lying around on beach chairs, drinking fucking pina coladas, listening to that fun, happy pina colada song from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not that kind of place. It is a gloomy place where people go to cry. And it looks beautiful. It's also edited really interestingly as well. As one of the things which stuck out to me when I watched it first, the editing in this film is so interestingly realised and is used in such an interesting way so as to make us think we're seeing sequences in one way when in actual fact we're not seeing that sequence that way at all. But the editing's so clever, it doesn't let us realise that until when it wants us to realise that. It's genius from that side of things. But I went into this film expecting a horror film. I think it is marketed as a horror and is primarily sold as a horror. And so from that side of things, it does do that very well. It is a deeply unsettling and unnerving film, which is scary at points. But I don't think you should expect a horror film. It stuck with me and I was dreaming about it, so it got under my skin in that sense, which is what I want from a horror film. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's scary in a conventional fashion, in that it's not kind of big jump scares and like ghosts going random points. It's not that kind of scary. It's a kind of scary where you are so tense that characters will step into a building and you will fucking throw that popcorn away and be like, get the fuck out of there. You get the fuck out of there right now. But it's blended with some genuinely kind of fun comedic moments. I don't know whether you can really use the term fun for this film, but it's in there at some points, particularly in the first hour. And also sort of elements of thriller and mystery. There are a certain point in this film where you are kind of watching an investigation, so it becomes that kind of investigative murder mystery thing, which I always like seeing. I think that is fused so wonderfully with the horror style and the kind of weird, odd, quirky humour as well. It just works, and that is also helped by a really unnerving and interesting score. Everything about this film just sucked me in and hooked me and didn't let go, despite its ridiculously long runtime of like 2 hours 40 minutes, which I've got to be honest, did strike me at first before I started. I was like, am I going to be hooked enough to enjoy a 2 hour 40 minute horror film? But I get to the end and I'm like, how long was that? Oh, what? That wasn't 2 hours. I'm being punked. Where's Ashton Kutcher? It honestly flies by, or at least did for me, because I was just so hooked and engrossed by all of the different aspects of the production of this one coming together. I honestly was just so surprised and blown away by how good The Wailing was. It's really unlike anything else I saw in 2016, and it has actually made its way into my top 10 of 2016. So if I had to, I'd go back and change my top 2016 video. But I'm not going to do that because that would require making an entirely new video about it. It's just not going to happen, guys. So, wicked film. And I seriously cannot recommend it enough. If you have the chance to check out The Wailing, get hold of it and watch it. And then let me know what you thought, because, goodness, your mind's going to have some stuff to say at the end of this one. I'm going to go ahead and give The Wailing a very solid 5 stars because, my goodness golly, it was a good film. Now, as I said a couple of minutes ago in this review, this film did inspire me to start a new type of video, which I've never done before, which is a video essay. I guess you can call it a video essay, despite it really being an explanation video about the end of The Wailing. So look forward to that coming out very soon. I put a lot of time into that one, working out my interpretation from a lot of other people's interpretations. So if you've seen The Wailing and you know how much of a headfuck it kind of is at the end, be excited to check out the video that I'm going to be putting up soon, which is just running through what I think the ending means. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think you're really going to enjoy it. So check out that soon. If you haven't seen The Wailing yet, watch it soon so you can watch my video I'm going to be putting out, because that'd be nice. But what about you guys? Have you seen The Wailing yet? I know I missed it, so there's probably a lot of people that didn't know about The Wailing. Check it out. But I know there are a lot of people that did see it and did love it for whatever reason. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about The Wailing. I would love to know and get a little discussion going. As usual, if you like this review and want to see me talk about more shit, go ahead and click subscribe. But until next time, stay beautiful, mother truckers.